So last class I asked you to implement decode function. So were you able to, like, I found everybody has written correctly, but did you get what is the purpose of decode? Okay, fine. I'll explain you how it works. So here we have a decode function. I'll just copy this query and put it in my JDeveloper. Oops. Oh, sorry. First I'll copy it in Word document. I'll explain you. Okay, so I'll tell you what this query is doing. This query, what it is doing is, it is trying to fetch the data from the employee table, and it is also trying to decode it. Decode it in the sense it is checking the condition that if the job ID is IT Pro, then the salary should be 1.1 multiplied with salary. Okay, salary will be multiplied with 1.10. Okay, if it is ST clerk, salary should be multiplied with 1.1 into salary. Okay, and this particular decode is it has a column alias called revised salary. Means you are working in a company, right? Every year you will get a appraisal. Your salary will get revised, right? Based on your designation, job ID designation. So for each job ID there will be some revised percentage. So that is what is happening over here. If the job ID is IT Pro, then my revised salary is 1.10 into multiplied with salary original one. Okay, similarly if the job profile is ST clerk, my revised salary is going to multiply with 1.15%. So this is how it works. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this and put it in my JDeveloper and see. I'll just try to execute it. Oh, there is some mistake. Actually, it has, if I directly copy it from JDeveloper, no, you have single quotation mark creates a problem if I copy it from PowerPoint. So I just need to manually place it. Same for ST clerk. And now if I try to execute it, it will work. So here the output, if you see, so what condition I have given, if the job ID is only IT Prog and ST clerk, then only the salary is going to get revised. 1.10 multiplied with salary and 1.15 multiplied with salary. Now here you can see the second column is job ID. So here if you see what I'm trying to do is, if you see IT Prog, okay, IT Prog, if the salary is 9,000, then I'm multiplying it with 1.10 into salary. So it comes as 9,900. Similarly, if my job ID is ST clerk, if you can see this record, here the salary was 3,200, it got 3680. So this is how this works. So here I am giving two conditions. If job ID is IT Prog and ST clerk, salary is going to get revised. If suppose for the rest job ID I don't want any increment in the salary, then I can write salary over here. Okay, we'll just try to see whether it works or not. Instead of revised salary null, it should give me salary. So here you can see for AD press, since there is no condition job ID is equal to AD press, there should be some revised salary. If other than IT prop and ST clerk, my revised salary should be the original salary. There is no increment in the salary. So as you can see, all the job ID other than those two, it will have the revised salary as the same salary. Is it clear now? Yeah. If anyone has any doubt, please ask. Yeah, I can see 3 people replying they understood. How about Michael and Wilbert? Okay, fine. Fine then. So this is how decode works. So similarly, there is a case statement. So it's basically an if then else condition only, right? So if you see the purpose over here in the slide, what it tells, decodes an expression similar to if then else logic. So it's similar to if then else, which is common to any programming language. So if condition is this, it should happen this, else something else should happen. Same way decode is also used. So now we have a case expression. So it's similar to decode, how it also basically checks the condition. Based on the condition check, it gives a value. Okay, so how it works, same query, whatever is there. My query was, if the question was like I want to fetch the last name, job ID and salary and the revised salary of an employee, and revised salary will only be for job ID, IT prog and ST clerk, and the percentage hike will be given for those job profile. This will be my query. So that can be implemented using decode, as well as it can be implemented using case expression. Okay, so currently I just showed you about decode function, decode expression. Now we are going to see how the same query can be implemented using case expression. So I'll just copy this in my Word document. I'll just do a indentation. So it's kind of plain English. Okay, that will be very easy to understand. So I'll just put my own double quotes. Even the string IT prog, I'll change the single quotation mark. Yeah, I'll just look at this query. It's very simple. Same thing I'm doing. Select last name, job ID, salary. Instead of decode, I'm using case keyword. Okay, so case job ID. So you need to give a column name whose condition needs to be checked. So here in my query, I'm checking based on job ID. If job ID is so and so, there should be a revised salary, right? So you need to identify a column which does a condition check. Okay, so here job ID is doing the condition check. So I am given job ID, when clause you have to add, when, and you need to give a value. When job ID, when IT prog, then this revised salary value you have to give. Then again for another job ID you need to give when ST clerk, then 1.15 into salary. And for else you need to give else salary. For rest of the job ID other than IT prog and ST clerk, my revised salary should be only salary. and I have given an end. So if you're using case expression, it starts with case keyword and it ends with end keyword. Okay, so when you are implementing case, four keywords are used: case, then when, then else is also required, and end. So these are the keywords which needs to be used when using case expression. I'll just query this in JDeveloper and show you the output, how it works. Same output it will give, same query is there, but it is implemented using case expression. I'll just do an indentation. It's just it's a simple English language only. So else you can keep it in the next, and you can even put end, something like this. I'll just try to execute this query. So can you see the output? So do you have any doubt on this case expression, how it has been used? So there is one question from Lacey. Is there a reason you would, just hold on, I'll just read the question once again. Is there a reason you would use decode instead of case, or the other way around? Yeah, like actually both does the same thing, but normally from the performance point of view, decode is more widely used than case. So it is recommended that you use decode instead of case, right? Is it clear, Lacey? From the performance point of view, decode should be used. Yeah, like it takes up less space, or you can say it performs the queries, like execution of query is faster using decode, okay, rather than case expression. There's a question from Brea. If we don't put indentation, will it cause an error? See, like we always write a query in such a way so that it can be understood by other candidate as well. So you need to put the code in a proper indentation manner. If you don't put in a proper format or proper if you don't follow the proper indentation, it might throw an error, like maybe because of large amount of space and all, it can cause a problem. It is recommended that you put your code in an indented manner. Okay, so Bria, is it clear? It should not cause an error, but if it is looking very shabby, then there can be a case it can cause an error. It can be anything, like if space are so much, it can cause a problem. Okay, so there is a question from Michael as well. With n, why would you need to use double quotes instead of single? Where okay, see, this is the alias name. This is revised salary is the alias name. As I told, if you have to put a string, if you are putting an alias name with double quotes, I have given as revised underscore salary. If you put revised space salary, then also it will work with double quotes. But if you put it in a single quotes, space and special character you can't put in the column alias name. So that is why we put a double quotation mark if there is a space or if we have to use some special character. So this what you are seeing is the alias name, revised salary. So this is whatever calculation I am doing over here, no, 1.1 into salary. So this value will appear where? Under revised salary column. Okay, revised salary alias name. So that is why it is used. It's clear, right? Any other question? Is it fine for everyone, or if anybody has any question, you can put forward. Okay, great. So I'll just move on to the next slide. So this we have covered. Okay, so I'll just go to the group function slide. So this is very simple. This is very well self-explanatory. I had also given you in the assignment a few functions which has to be used in the query. How to find the average salary of an employee. So you have to use average function, AVG function. So what is group function? I had asked you in the assignment what is SQL function, what are the types of SQL functions. So what are the types of SQL function? We had covered single row function. Till now we covered single row function, and now the multiple row function is the group function. So what is multiple row function or group function? Anyone please answer it? I already asked in the assignment.
It performs stuff on multiple rows.
Yeah, right, correct. So what it does is like it operates on a set of rows to give one result per group. Okay, so that is what multiple row function works. So here you can see you have average. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to find the average salary of an employee. So in that case you use average. So it's very self-explanatory. Similarly, count you already did how count work. Okay, so that is fine. Max also you are seen. Like if we have to use max, we just need to. I had given a query how to find the max, the person who earns maximum salary and minimum salary. And I also asked the sum of salary working in sum of salary of an employee working in department ID 80, like that. So this is what I covered about group function. So anyone, any doubt on this particular functions, whatever is mentioned in this slide? We have already covered in an assignment, so I don't think so it should be a problem for any one of you. But if anyone has doubt, please ask. Is it fine for everyone? Okay, fine. I'll go to the next slide. So here we have covered now group function. So now there is something called group by clause also. So this is actually important clause, group by clause. So what it does, it divides the row in a table into smaller groups. Okay, how it divides into smaller groups? I'll just show you. Suppose I want to see, I have a query. Okay. See, my question will be for this group by expression, write a query to find here only we can say write a query to find the department ID and the maximum salary. So in an organization there will be many department ID, right? So I want to know like which department ID gives the highest salary. Okay, so write a query to find which department ID. To find all the department ID which gives max salary. Okay, so if this is the question, what you have to give is like you need to understand so over here you need to write select, or in the Word document only I will write first so that you all can see it properly. You need to give as select, then you can give the column name department ID. Then you need to know, suppose in department ID 10, 5 employees are working. Department ID 20, another 5 employees are working. So you need to know for department 10 who earns the maximum salary. Means like what is the maximum salary that department ID gives to an employee. So that is what I'm doing. I'm doing as max salary. So max salary, then you need to give the table name from departments. Now here, which is the group function which I have used in the query? What is the group function I have used in this query? Right, max. So here now what this query this query won't give me the correct output until and unless I have to divide each department, right? I have to group the maximum salary for each department, right? So for that I have to use group by expression, and I want to group based on department ID. So I'll give group by department ID. So if you try to execute this, it will give you the maximum salary of each department. So you just go and execute this and see what is the result. So there is a okay, I think in department table salary is not there. So you need to give employees. Sorry, I've given the wrong table. You need to give employees. Okay, so employees table has the department ID column. Okay, so I want to see this from the employees table. So if I try to execute this, here you can see you'll have each department. Okay, so there are around 12 departments in an total means like the number of employees working in these department IDs. Okay, so for department ID 100, the maximum salary an employee earns is 12,008. Similarly, for department ID 30, the maximum salary an employee earns is 11,000. Similarly, other department ID also has the same result. Like it gives you the maximum salary of each department of an employee. So this is how group by works. What I am trying to do is I am grouping it based on department ID, and I am trying to find each department ID, like what is the maximum salary an employee earns. So this is how you write a query to find this kind of output. Is it clear to everyone, or do you want me to repeat why group by clause is used? Okay, fine then. So always remember that over here we are using group function as well as group by clause. So group function is max and group by is like, always remember that whatever column is there before group function, you should group it based on that column. So here department ID is prior to max salary, so you give group by department ID. Okay, so normally it is done like that, and over here the requirement was also to group based on department ID. So that is why I have written group by department ID. So I think this is clear to everyone. So I just wanted to ask you order by clause, like we have covered in the previous classes. We have used order by clause. So anyone, can you tell me like what order by clause does? What is the purpose of order by clause? Yeah, correct. Lacey has answered like it. Yeah, fine. Wilbert also agrees to Lacey's answer. So it's correct. Like it basically does the sorting. Sorting in the sense it puts the data in ascending order or descending order. Okay. So if you want the data to appear in ascending order, suppose here in this query only, I want the result to appear based on department ID in ascending order. So I'll write order by column name, department ID, and you need to give, if you don't put anything, it automatically takes default as ascending order. If you execute this, so first department ID 10 record will display and the maximum salary. If you see, this is how it works. Okay, if you don't put any order clause, like order clause in the sense AC also, if you put, that will also display the data in ascending order. If you don't put AC also, default it takes in ascending order. If you want it to appear in descending order, write DESC and try to execute it. Okay, so here you can see first null will come, then the department ID whatever is there. Okay, just hold on for a second. Just hold on for a second. Yeah, so if you put it in descending order, you can see the result appearing in descending order. Okay, so one more thing I just wanted to tell you. Here I am doing order by, and the column name I have mentioned, department ID. Suppose I don't want to put the column name, I can put the index name. Index name means position of the column. So column department ID appears in first position. I can give as order by 1 and do a descending order. So here also it will display the records in descending order based on department ID. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, great. So this is about order by clause. So this also we have covered. And here if you see the example of group by clause, okay, so I'll just take this example. Same example I've written over here only. Suppose there is a thumb rule, okay, when you are using group function and group by clause, okay, immediately after group by clause, if you want to put any where condition, okay, so you can't put a where condition after group by clause. There is similar condition like where clause, we call it as having clause. So we give having, suppose I want to put a condition See, if you see the output over here, right? Some department is there whose maximum salary of an employee earns is less than 10,000. Okay, so I want to put a condition that I want to display only those department ID whose employee earns maximum salary greater than 10,000. Okay, so in that case I put a having clause condition. So I can put a condition called having max salary, whatever is there, max salary greater than, equal to, or greater than 10,000 I put. Okay, so this is like a condition, and this is always used after group by clause. After group by clause, if you put any condition, that needs to be implemented using having clause. So if I try to execute this, so here you can see only those department ID is appearing whose maximum salary is more than 10,000. Okay, so this is how having clause work. And having clause normally, like it can be used with group function with the column name. Whatever is there, you can use that. Is it clear to everyone, or any doubt how to use having clause? How about others? Okay, so this is how having clause works. Okay, so I'll go to the next slide. So now we have a set operators. So this is also very like important concept. So here, so how to use set operators? So as you see, we have different types of set. Why? First we need to know why set operators is used. So set operators combines the results of two component queries into a single result. Suppose you have two queries, you want to combine the query output, so that you can combine it using set operators. Okay, so there are different type of set operators like union, union all, intersect, minus. Okay, so these are the set operators which are normally used. So if you see the definition, union returns all rows selected by either query. Okay, so I'll just show you the example, so that will make you more clear. So I'll just query if any backup table I have created for employee emp_temp. I'll just check whether this table exists. I think yeah, it is there. See the data, what it is. It doesn't have any data. So what I'll do is I want to insert employee ID, last name, department ID, salary. So how will I insert? I'll put a insert command, insert into emp_tmp. This table I have to insert. I have to take it from, I can put select same column name. I'll put the data from the employee table. So I'll take the same column which is there in the employee table, last underscore name, comma, department underscore ID, comma, salary from employees. I put a condition where department ID, so that less records are inserted. Department ID equal to 80. So if I try to, as is not required here while inserting, only when creating a backup table it requires. So I'll just try to execute and see whether it is allowing me to insert. So I'm getting an error message. So there are some problem regarding the constraints. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just create a fresh table. Okay, rather than inserting into this table. So I'll use create table emp underscore tmp1, and here while creating a backup table you need to give as keyword. Okay, so I'll just try to execute this. It will create the table as well as it will pump the data into my backup table. So here you can see table got created. So I'll just query this and see. So here you can see I have the data. Okay, so data got successfully inserted. So now I have to use union clause. Okay, what I'll do is, sorry, I won't take this example because lot of data is there. I'll create very simple example. Okay, I'll just 1 second. I'll just query select star from X if any X table is there. To make you understand in a very simple manner, what I'll do is create table X and then I'll put a column ID, number and name. I'll just create a table. Table got created. Similarly, I'll create a table called Y with same column, with same table structure. So now I have to insert the data into X and Y. So I'll write insert into X. So I need to give values. So values 10, comma, suppose I give Raj. So I'll try to execute it. So one row inserted, another row I'll insert 20. I'll give as name as Himsoft. So here you can see I'll put a commit also over here. This will commit the data permanently into the database. Okay, so now already 2 records inserted into X table. So I'll just try to query X and see whether the data got inserted. So data is there. Okay, so now similarly for Y. Okay, suppose for Y I am inserting department ID 20. ID as 20 and Himsoft, same value. Only one record I'll insert here. So I can see select star from Y. Okay, and if I try to execute it, it will give me one record. Okay, so now I have 2 queries, right? Select star from X and select star from Y, and all the columns are same, which is there in X and in Y. Okay, so now I'll be using a union clause in between select star from X and select star from Y. So now what union clause does, it will take the records from X and also it will take the records from Y and it will display. Okay, so here if you see, if I try to execute this, it won't take the duplicate records. Already if you see in table Y, I have an entry ID as 20 and Himsoft that is already there in X. So it won't take a duplicate value, it will take only one value. So it will display only 2 values, that is ID 10 and ID 20. If I execute this, so here you can see 2 values it is displaying. So union clause, what it does, union set operator, it takes the record from one query and it takes the records from another query and it sees like what all unique records are there and it will display only those records. Okay, So is it clear to everyone how union set operator is used? What is the functionality? Why should we use union set operator? Okay, fine. So then this is the union, and if we use union all, so if you use union all, so it will take the duplicate record as well. Okay. So there is one question from Lacey. Does it tell you which records came from which table? Okay, it's a so that won't tell you like from which table it is taking. It will just find if the records are same, it will just take the unique record. That this union will not tell you from which table it is taking. Any one of the record from any table it will take. Okay, so now I'll just execute union all. So what I said, union all will display all the records in X as well as all the records in Y. So it will display the duplicate records as well. So I'll try to execute this. Now it should give me 3 records. So here you can see from both the table it is displaying the records. Is it clear? Union all. So you all clear like what is the difference between union and union all now? Okay, great. So now I'll just move on to the next set operator, that is intersect. Intersect, as the definition uses, returns all the distinct rows selected by both the queries. What it means, like it will display the common records. So here common record is what? 20, right? So if I use intersect, so it will display the unique common record between both the query. So if I execute this, this will display the common record which is there in both the table. Is it clear? So this is very simple. So similarly, now if I have to use minus set operator. So if you see the slide, minus, what it does, returns all the distinct records selected by the first query but not the second. Okay, so here if I use minus, what it will do is it will do X minus Y. What it means, it will take all the records from X and it will minus all the records from Y. So suppose in X I have ID as 10 and 20, okay, and in Y I only have 20. So it will subtract the 20 records from X. Okay, so ultimately I'll get only one record, that is ID as 10. So what happens, the common record gets moved out from the parent table. Parent table here is first query table, that is X. Okay, so is minus clear to everyone? Okay, so this is how set operator works. So I have explained you about set operators now. So this is simple only. So now we'll come to a very important topic called joins. Okay, so this is very important, so please pay attention for this particular topic, as it is widely used in the real-time projects. So you'll be getting like suppose you're working in a project, you might get a query where you have to display the data from multiple tables. Okay, so till now what we were doing was like we were just writing the query using one table. select star or select column name or using any expression from one table, from employee or department table. So here in joins, we have to write the query to fetch the details, fetch the data from multiple tables. Okay. So if you are trying to fetch the data from multiple tables, there should be a common link between the two tables, right? Some common column or common column value between the two tables so that it will link and it will display the record from two tables. Okay. So do you want uh, 10 minutes break before starting this session? Before starting joins? Yeah, I want you all to like be fresh before starting this join condition. Okay, we'll meet after 10 minutes. So hi everyone, everyone back or anyone still to come? Okay, fine. So now we are going to cover join. Okay, okay, fine. Then we'll start with joins. Okay, so this is very important concept in SQL. So there are different types of joins. So basically why join is used, if we have to display the data from more than one table. So in that case, join needs to be used. Okay, so there are different, sorry. So there are different types of joins. Okay, you have Cartesian product, equi-join, non-equi-join, outer join, self-join. So basically there are two types of joins. One is Oracle proprietary join and there is one SQL compliant join. So whatever is appearing in this PPT is about Oracle proprietary join. So first we are going to cover this, and after that we have SQL compliant join as well. So I'll cover that as well. Okay, so first we need to know like how join is used. So we'll take each join one by one and see how join gives the output, how join can be used to display data from multiple tables. Okay, so first is Cartesian product. Okay, so have you heard about Cartesian product or cross join, something like that before? Okay, okay, in maths, in mathematics, in school and all, when you did you come across Cartesian, what it is? No, right? Looks familiar. Okay, yeah, it's similar to that what you had studied during school in mathematics. There we had Cartesian. So what is Cartesian product? Cartesian product is like remember. Okay, fine. Anyway, I'll be explaining you about Cartesian product now, so you'll get to know. Okay, so suppose like it's kind of a cross join in the sense cross product. What it means is, suppose you're trying to, suppose if you see this diagram, okay, employee table is there, which has got column name as last name and department ID, and that has suppose 20 records. Okay, similarly there is another table called departments table that has got the department ID and department name as the column name, and it has got 8 records. Okay, suppose if you use Cartesian product, then in that case what it will do is it will multiply the record from table 1 to table 2. So it will display around 820 multiplied with 8 rows. So 160 rows. So it will do all the permutation and combination, and it will display all the records multiplied with first table with the second table. Okay, over here there is no common column where I am linking it. Okay, where clause is omitted over here. If you see the definition of Cartesian product, formed when the join condition is omitted. Join condition is omitted means I'm not putting any a common column value condition. Okay, suppose if I have to give a common column value, since employee table has got department ID column, department table also has department ID column. Okay, so department table, department ID is the primary key value, and the department ID which is there in the employee table is the foreign key value. Just for the time being, understand, we'll be covering primary key and foreign key what it is. So the mainly the primary key, if you say, it means the master column, and if you say foreign key column, it means child column. So master and child relationship is there. Okay, if you say primary and foreign key. So here normally if we have to build a join condition, we normally give a condition where employees table dot department ID equal to departments dot department ID. Okay, if we give this condition, then it will display all the unique value which is there. It will display all the common value which is there in the employee table and the department table. But over here, as you see, this particular query doesn't have any where clause. It is just taking the last name and department name from employees. Instead of department name, it should be department ID from employees, comma departments. So if you try to execute this, it will display all the records. Suppose if I do a count of in employee table, how many records are there? If I do a count, so you can see over 107 records are there. Similarly, if I do a count on departments table, so here you can see 27 records. Suppose now, like since if I give the query as select last name which is there in the employee table, department name is there in the department table, other columns I am not taking, so I just want to see how many number of records it will appear. So here yeah, 1 second, Lacey, I'll just show you the output first. Select last name comma department name from, if you put employees comma departments, okay, you are not putting any where condition. So here you can see how many records it is trying to display.
Hi Rajesh.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, sorry to bother you. Just want to make sure that are you going to help them on the project?
Hello, Swati, today's agenda, like I won't be able to cover that. Tomorrow, Monday, whatever is the class, because I already like we had planned the schedules for today and Monday. So like topics are left. So first I need to cover those topics, and after that, like whatever like we had mentioned about the project requirement. So that I'm going to cover on Monday. I'll be telling them how it needs to be done. Okay, how data from the flat file gets inserted into the table, like database table. That is what the requirement is, right? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Swati. So that I'm planning to cover it on Monday. So once I complete this SQL by Monday, then I'll take up that topic.
Okay, can you please email me the details actually when you're planning to cover these topics and when they're going to start on this project?
Yeah, I'll send that.
Okay, thank you. Carry on.
Okay. So here you can see as I executed the query, it is trying to display the records from table 1, that is employee table, and the departments table. So if you can see the number of records, it is trying to multiply the number of records. So whatever records were there, number of records in the table 1, it has multiplied with table 2 records. So this is how Cartesian product works. So is it clear to everyone how Cartesian product works? Or if you have any question, please ask me. Yeah, how about other guys? So there is one question from Lacey. When would you want to use it a Cartesian product? Okay, so see here, like normally it is very rarely used. Rarely you'll get a requirement to use Cartesian product. Okay, normally in a real-time project you will be using equijoin, non-equijoin, outer join, and self-join. Cartesian product is just there. Suppose like in a very rare situation you'll get to use this Cartesian product. Mainly you'll be using equijoin, non-equijoin, and the rest of the join, whatever is there. Okay, so this was about Cartesian product. Okay, so now we'll just come to equijoin. What is equijoin? If you see what is equijoin, the definition states that equijoin contains equality operator. Equality operator means equal to clause, equal to operator will be there. Okay, if you see the example, what it is doing is, here, don't look into the syntax, see the example, what is mentioned over here. So what this query is doing, it is trying to fetch the employee ID, last name, department ID, department name from two tables, employees comma departments. Okay, as I already told, department ID is the column which is common to both the table, employees and department. Okay, so here I am putting an equijoin. Equijoin in the sense I am putting equal to operator using both department ID from employee table and the department ID from department table. So it will take all the common values which is there in the employee table for department ID and the common value which is there in the department table. So if I just try to execute this, first I'll show it in the Word document. Okay, so here if you see, from employees comma departments, so here I'm trying to fetch the employee ID which is there in the employees table. So instead of putting the employees dot employee ID, it's very big name, right? So what you can do is you can give a prefix, you can give an alias name for the table as EMP and departments as DEPT. Okay, so instead of employees you just put EMP over here, and same here, you need to repeat it, same here as well. And from the departments table I'm getting department name, so I'll give dep.department name. So this is the table alias name which I'm using to fetch the column name from the two table. Again in the where clause also I need to put a table alias name, so I'll put where emp.department ID and then departments.department ID. Okay, so if I try to execute this, so what I'll just try to execute in JDeveloper and show you how the query works. So this is the column. So here you can see your employee ID. One second. You can see the employee ID, last name, department ID and the department name. So whatever department ID is appearing in the output, okay, it starts with 10, 20, 30 and whatever is there. So these department ID is common to both employee table and department table. It won't display the department's ID which is not common to any of the table. Okay, so this is how equijoin works. Equijoin tells, like, based on equal value I need to fetch the details from multiple tables. So here department ID was the common column in employee and department table. Based on these common column, I have extracted employee ID, last name, department ID and department name from employee table and department table. So this is how equi-join works. Is it clear to everyone, or if you have any doubt, please ask me. Fine, right? I can see Bria, Lacey, they have understood. How about Michael? Yeah, Michael also. So everyone has understood, right? So this is about equi-join. So there is another join called as non-equi-join. It's just opposite to equi-join. As the name suggests, it is not equal to. Okay, so in that case, you don't have to use not equal to symbol, but there is another expression which another operator you can say, which is used instead of equal to operator in case of non-equi-join. So here we use between clause to find the range. Okay, since we don't have equal to condition, so we need to find a range. Okay, so in that case you use between operator over here, between clause you can say. So here my requirement will be, I want to find the last name and salary as well as grade of an employee whose salary ranges between some value. Okay, lowest salary and the highest salary. So in that case, between clause is used. Okay, so I'll just show you in an example how it works. Same query, I'll take it. Okay, here employees table and department table. Instead of this equi-join, I'll put a condition where emp dot salary is between, you can put any value. Suppose you can put some hard-coded value, 4,000 and 8,000. Okay, so if you give this query and try to execute it, so here you are not putting any equi-join, equi-join. You are putting a non-equi-join. You are actually putting a range of your salary. You are putting a value over here. Okay, this is a hard-coded value you have kept, 4,000. Or what you can do is you can create, if there is another table, you can create, you can join on multiple tables. Okay, here I'm joining based on only two tables, employee and department. Similarly, you can join up to as much is the requirement. You can join to 3 tables, 4 tables, 5 tables. For joining all these tables, it is very important that you study the structure of the table. What all common columns are there for each table. Based on that common column, you put an equi-join in your where clause. And based on that, you display the record from your query. Okay, so here I'll just try to execute this and show you how non-equi-join works. So here I'll just copy this, whatever is there, I've copied from Word, and I'll try to execute it. Here you can see I can get the record from multiple table, that is from employee tables and department table, based on a condition where salary ranges between 4,000 and 8,000. So we can even display salary as well, so that you can see what is the salary getting displayed. So you just give emp.salary. Why emp.salary? Because salary is present in employee table. I'll just try to execute this and see. Here you can see the salary range. I've given between 4,000 to 8,000. So here you can see all the employees are there whose like salary ranges between those parameter whatever I have mentioned. Is it clear to everyone what is how non-equi-join works? Okay, fine, then I'll go with the next join. So just have a look. Okay, anyway, I have shared this PPT with you. When you go through joins topic, just try to execute each query what is there in the joins topic. For each category of join, whatever is there, there is an example. You just try to execute the query in your example, in your JDeveloper or any IDE tool which you are using it. Just see the output, how it works. Okay, first try to query the individual table, select staff from employee, select staff from another table, department table. Just see what is the common columns, or you can put a describe and see what is the structure of the table. Common columns is there in multiple tables or not. Okay, based on that you put a join condition and see the output. Okay, so this is about equi-join and non-equi-join. So I'll go to the next slide. Then we have a concept called outer join. So what is outer join? That we need to see. So over here, I'll just try to take the why outer join is used. So there is a definition over here, as you can see in the PPT. The first point, it is used to see rows that do not meet the join condition. Okay, and I'll explain you at a high level. I'm just telling you what it means. It is used to see the rows that do not meet the join condition, and outer join is used using operator plus. So plus is an operator which is used with outer join. Okay, so what plus indicates? Plus indicates that one side of the expression has deficient in information. Deficient in the sense like some data is missing in that particular column. So if you see over here, if you see the example, first see the syntax. Okay, so first syntax, you can see the plus operator is on left hand side. Table1 dot column plus equal to table2 dot column. Okay, so that column can be anything and table can be anything. So suppose if plus operator is there on the left hand side, it means, like, we'll take an example of employees and department only. Suppose in employee table you have department ID column, that is the common column which is also present in department table. Okay, so I'll just show you in Word document. Two tables are there, employees, and there is another table called departments. Okay, so common, what is the common column between employees and department table? Tell me. Yeah, so common column is department ID. So I'll put department ID. This is a common column between employees and department. So the department ID which is there in the employee table and the department ID which is there in the department table. So it will have some values, right? So suppose in employee table department ID is 10, 20, 30. Three values are there. Okay. And in the department table, suppose the value is 10, then 20 is there, 30 is there. Also, suppose 40 and 50 is also there. So 40 and 50 is not present in department ID which is there in the employee table, right? So there is a deficiency in information in the first table of the column department ID, right? Is it clear? Can you see there is a deficient in information in employee table? Yeah, I can see Lacey saying yes. How about others? So everyone can see, right? So this is what we call as deficient in information. So if there is any deficient in information, we need to use plus operator. Plus operator indicates there is some deficient in information. So now if you see the query here, I'll just copy this in the Word doc and I'll try to explain you. Just do an indentation. So this is my query. Okay. So what this query is doing, it is trying to fetch the details from two tables, that is employees table and departments table, and it is trying to fetch last name, department ID from employee table, department name from department table. As you can see, the table alias for employees is E, the table alias for departments is T. Okay, and since you can see there is a deficient in information of department ID and employee table, so here you can see where E dot department ID plus equal to D dot department ID. Okay, so this tells you there is a deficient in information in employee table. So it will give you the, if I try to execute this, I'll just show you the output, what output it will give. So instead of employees and department, like there will be many like values, so which you won't be able to understand very well. So since we have taken an example, select star from X, two tables we had created, right, for union set operator, same table we'll try to use. So here in both, ID is the ID, both column names are present in both the tables, that is ID and name. Okay, so if I try to execute Y as well, so you can see same record is there. Okay, so now the common you can see Y has got deficient in information because X has got 10 and 20, Y has got only 20. So how it will display? So I want a query that will fetch the, I'll use the table alias name x1, suppose is the table alias name for X, x1 dot, or I'll give the table name only X dot ID, comma, suppose I want Y dot name, I'll put a condition from X comma Y. These two are my table name, where I need to put a condition where X dot ID equal to Y dot ID, and Y dot ID has a deficient in information, right? ID is only 20 in Y, whereas in X you have 10 and 20. So in this case, we'll try to execute and see what output it gives. So I'll just try to execute it. So here you can see it is displaying both the records. Okay, so for ID 20 you have a common name, Himsoft, whatever is there. For X also ID, for ID 20 name was Himsoft. Even for Y, for ID 20 the name is Himsoft. But for ID 10, if you see, what I'm trying to do is I'm putting Y dot name. Okay, for Y table you don't have ID 10, so in that case it is displaying as null. So what this join is called as outer join. So this will display the equal to and not equal to both the values. Okay, is it clear or anybody has? So there's one question, how do you know which one is deficient in information in a table with thousands of records? Yeah, see here what you have to do is, so before putting a join condition, you need to see, suppose there's a department ID which is common between the two tables. Okay, so what you can do is you can put a distinct clause individually and just check, select distinct, oh sorry, you can write select distinct department ID from employees. Okay, so from here you can find what all tables, what all you will get the number of distinct values. Similarly for departments table, so there you will see there will be more in the department table. So in that case you will get to know. Yeah, even count distinct you can use, right? Okay, so that is what is there in the outer join. So anyone, any doubt on the outer join? How about Brea? Fine. Wilbert, Patrick. Please ask me, like, if you have any question. No, please ask me. I can repeat it once again. Okay, fine. Then I'll start with self join. So what is self join? So here till now we were taking the data from multiple tables, right? Tables can be as many tables you can fetch the records. 4 tables, 5 tables, or 6 tables. Any number of tables you can join, and you can build your query and you can fetch the data from multiple tables. So then there is another join called as self join. So what self join is? Self join is used to join a table to itself. Only one table will be there. You need to fetch the data from one table, but you have to put a join condition in one table. So how do you do that? So if you see, there is one table called as employees table. Okay, and if you see, if I just try to execute this simple query, select star from employee. If I do select star from employees, here you will see all the records of the employee table. Okay, just observe one thing, like each employee has got an employee ID. Suppose you are working in you all are working in IBM, right? So you all have an employee ID as well. So each employee will have its own manager also. Each employee will report to a manager. So similarly, here in this employee table also, it's a master table. It has the information about each employees. So here the employee ID, suppose 100 is there. First name is Steven and all. And this table will also tell you who is the manager ID. Who is the manager of this employee. So there is a column called manager ID as well. You can see first manager ID is null. It means this particular employee last name, who is King, doesn't have any manager, which means he is the boss of the company. He is the CEO of the company. Okay. Then if you see the second record, so this particular employee has a manager ID 100. So as you can, as you are working in an organization, each manager will also have an employee ID, right? So whatever manager ID is appearing is an employee ID because each manager is also an employee, right? So here for second record, that is for coacher, the manager ID is 100. If you see this manager ID 100, which means that King is the manager of Cocher. As King has the employee ID as 100, and for Cocher, the manager of Cocher is employee ID 100. Okay, so King is the manager of Cocher. Similarly, for Dehan, also his manager is King. Similarly, another employee is there, Hanold. His manager ID is 102. 102 is who? Dehan is the manager of Hanold. So this is how it works. So basically, here you need to put a join condition within a table itself. In one table only, you need to put a join in such a way that you need to get a query which tells, like, I want a query to find the list of employee and their manager. Okay, suppose here if you see the example, I want to have a query where the last name of an employee reports to which manager. Okay, so I want the manager last name as well. So this is a simple query. What it is doing is, I'll just show you in Word document. So this I'll remove. This query we call it as a self join. So what it is doing is, I have taken one table employees. I have given an alias name for this employee table. Another time also I am taking a same table name employees, but I am giving a different alias name manager. Okay, so what I am trying to do is, I am putting a join condition. First I am trying to fetch employees alias name worker. Worker dot last name works for manager dot last name. Okay, manager dot last name, where worker dot manager ID equal to manager dot employee ID, because each manager is an employee, right? So manager ID join condition I have to make it with employee ID. So this is how it works. If I try to execute this query, I can get the employee work, this Smith works for this manager. Actually there is a space problem. 1 second. Yeah, if I try to execute it now, okay, I think we need to give a space here by giving one more pipe. Now if I try to execute it, the output will be in a proper formatted manner. Somehow this space is not working, this part. If I give yeah, 1 second. Could you put a space after the R in for? Okay, you are saying here. This should also work. Yeah. So here we are getting the proper format. So it tells Smith works for Campbell. Then another employee is there, Ozen works for Campbell. So here you are trying to see the employee working for his supervisor name. So here what I have done, just I've taken one simple table, employees, and I have created two alias name for that table, worker and manager, and then I'm taking worker dot last name works for manager dot last name, and this join condition is important, where worker dot manager ID equal to manager dot employee ID, because each manager is an employee, right? Each manager with manager ID, whatever is there, is an employee ID of an employee. Okay, so that is why this condition is there. Is it clear about self join? Yeah, so this is about self join, which I wanted to discuss with you all. So we have covered the Oracle proprietary join over here. So if we go to the last slides, so there were 5 types of joins over here: Cartesian product, equi-join, non-equi-join, outer join, self-join. So we have covered all the joins, whatever is there in under type of joins category. So just wanted to ask you one more time, like if you have understood this joins concept, like whatever explanation I had given based on the different type of join, is it clear to everyone, or if anyone has doubt? Okay, great. So we'll go to the next topic. After this, what all topics are left, I'll just tell you. Like we have subqueries. Okay, then constraints is there. This is also very important topic. Okay, so this is there. And so what we'll do is, like as I'm discussing about joins, so there is one more, we have covered about Oracle proprietary joins, right? So similarly, we have SQL compliant joins as well. So SQL compliant joins, I'll be covering it in the next class. Okay, so before that, I'll just go to subquery. So I wanted to make you understand what is subquery first. Subquery is like, it is also called as inner query. Okay, if you have multiple queries, the inner query is called as a subquery. Suppose from the inner query you are getting some value, and that value you are using in the outer query. Okay, so in that case, subquery is used. Okay, so what subquery definition says, subquery execute once before the main query. So you'll be having two queries, suppose main query and the inner query. So main query output is dependent on the inner query output. So always the inner query will execute first and then the outer query, that is your main query. So if you see the second point, the result of the subquery is used by the main query, what I just told you, what I just explained you. Okay, if you see this syntax, you can see what it is doing is select. It is taking an outer query, it is giving us some select statement, and then there is one more select statement which is inside. So that we call it as inner query. Anyway, we'll be seeing the examples, so that will make you more clear about it. Okay, so here also in subquery there is two types: single row subquery and multiple row subquery. Single row subquery is the inner query when it returns only one record, So that query is called as single row subquery. Okay, and for single row subquery, you should use operators like greater than, less than, equal to, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, and not equal to. Okay, so these are the operators which you need to use with single row subquery. Okay, similarly, you have the multiple row subquery. So what multiple row subquery means, like it returns more than one row from the select statement. So in that case, you have to use different operators. So we have already discussed in the previous class how to use in operator. Similarly, there is any and all as well. So that we are going to cover in the next class, how any and all is used. For the time being, just remember that any and all is also used as a multiple row subquery operator. Okay. So this is there. So multiple row subquery is that returns more than one record from the inner select statement. So is it clear what is subquery and what are the different types of subquery? Yeah, I'll just show an example. Suppose I'll just show example for single row and then multiple row subquery. Maybe example will be here. If you see this example, what it is doing, select last name from employees where salary greater than, just remember the operators which I'm using. Greater than, it means it's a single row subquery operator, and there instead of hard coding a value greater than 10,000 something like that, I am writing a query again. Select salary from employee where last name is equals to able. So finally my query will be display all employees who earn more than able. So this is going to be my query. So for that query, this query we have to write. This is the question, display all employees who earn more than able. So you need to give select last name from employees where salary greater than, you need to give able salary query over here. So this is how your single row subquery works. And suppose if you want to use multiple row subquery, then in that case you have to use in operator. Okay, so here what I'm trying to do is, the question is find the employee who earned the same salary as the minimum salary for each department. What it means, find the employees who earn the same salary as the minimum salary for each department. So if you see the query, what it is doing is select last name, salary, comma department ID from employees where salary in, select minimum salary from employees, group by department ID. So this we have discussed, right, about group by clause. So here first understand the inner query, what it is doing. It is trying to get the minimum salary. We have written the query for each department, we were trying to get the maximum salary of an employee. So here just opposite it is happening. It is trying to find the minimum salary of each department. Okay, so it will give me multiple records. Suppose 5 departments are there. So for each 5 departments, I'll get 5 minimum salaries. Okay, so in will have 5 values over here. Suppose 1000, 1200, 1400, 1500, something like that. In operator is used. So here, as you can see, the inner query is returning more than one record. So that is what it is called as multiple row subquery. Is it clear? Yeah. So I'll stop here. Okay. So before tomorrow also we'll continue with join, whatever is small part is left about SQL compliant join. Then we'll just have some examples of subquery as well. Okay, a few practical examples we'll do, and then the last topic what we're going to cover is constraint. Okay, so this is very important, whatever is there. And after that, like you will have got one assignment, right, about how to load the data into the database table. So I'll be just telling you the concept, what you need to use. Okay, I'll be telling you there is a utility called SQL Loader utility. So that you need to use to load the data from the flat file into the database table. So that we are going to cover. That will take around half an hour or 45 minutes max. Okay, so that you all get the idea and you can proceed with your project. Okay, so today we have covered a lot of topics. So are you all clear with what I have covered today? Okay, just wanted a feedback from all of you, like how's the training going on? Is it going fine for everyone, or do you have anything to say? If by chance like somebody is not able to understand. Okay. Thank you very much for all your cooperation. So Monday is going to be the last session of SQL training. I'll be sharing you the evaluation 4 result with all of you. Okay, and parallelly I'll be sending you, simultaneously I'll be sending you the assignment 5. Okay, so please try to complete it before the next class. And I'm happy that you all followed the format of the answer which I had asked you for. So similar way, just send me the assignment 5 as well. And one more thing I would expect, like in the answer sheet you are giving the question and answer, right? I would also expect if you can give the output as well. Whatever query you are executing, if you try to give the output also, that will make me sure that you all are executing the query, and if any exception is coming, even that exception also you can capture and put in the Word doc. So that will be more clear. Okay. So is it fine for everyone? Everyone can put the output as well for each query. Yeah. There is one question from Patrick. If the query pulls multiple records, can we just put one? Yeah, just for the, see, if just try to, like if multiple records are there, many records are there, not 2-3 records, just put it in the document. Okay, that will be clear to me. And suppose if query is like if the table is retrieving lot of records, you can create some small table just like X and Y I created, no? Just for your understanding, you can no, better you use employees and department table only. You can pull 1 or 2 records in the document. Just for your understanding, I created X and Y table and wanted to show you that. So that is it. That is it for the day. Let's meet on Monday. See you soon. Have a good day. Thank you, everyone.